I went to grab my coffee about 20 minutes ago. It was just sitting on my desk for a little bit today. It's already cold. I don't mind cold coffee. Because you can buy cold coffee, just put some ice in it, and it's the same thing. But the thing is that I go to take a sip out of it, and I look, and the little like hole for it is halfway blocked, and I noticed there's a bug, a pretty big bug, hanging out on the inside of the lid, and I was like, "Oh my god, I almost just sipped that thing." And
Oh, no.
yeah, and I go to my wife and I'm already showing it to her and she's like, "Oh god, that's really gross. What is it?" And I pull the cap off and it was a weevil. It was this big weevil with, you know, big dangly legs. And I first thought it was a spider and stuff, but when I when when I pulled it up, it, like, fell over, and I think it was because of the chocolate or the caffeine in it was, like, basically poisoning it, like, it was getting drunk off of that
No.
stuff. So I almost inhaled a bug today, and I'm a little, like, now PTSD, like, I don't wanna, like, sip anything without looking down the straw or anything, like, it's
Yeah.
just
Did the weevil give you the honor of
honor
looking at you?
Yes, it did.
Because weevils are adorable.
They are adorable. I just don't like them in my drinks. Um,
No, no.
but no, it was cute. I will admit it's cute. My wife really likes weevils too.
I
And
wouldn't like to
like
have a weevil in my drink, but I would like to give a weevil his own drink.
right, right. Let's see if Midjourney knows what a weevil is. It almost certainly does, but we'll see. Enough. I'll double check that I spelled weevil right. Yes, I did. Okay. Well, yes, I did.
Mhm.
It kind of, I mean, like when I Google weevil, it's like a little what I saw was a lot longer legged than that, but yeah, it's basically a wig. Um,
Google weevil sounds like the cutest kind.
wow, it did not give us a bug at all, actually. Um, gave us something
I think
else.
I've gotten a
Kind of
weevil from Midjourney before.
traumatized caffeine weevil. Uh, and DG6 is just gonna be way better at making these bug people. Oh my god, this looks amazing. Um, hold on. Yeah, some of these are fantastic. Oh my god, the ones holding coffee and just kind of sipping. Oh no. Oh no. That's great. Thank you for that, Ancient. Um, we're gonna give a couple minutes for people to kind of roll in here. Um, let's see. Traumatized caffeine weevil version
He's so
6.
cute.
Yes, that is great. Oh man. Um
He needs a snoot. Where's his snoot? They like
like
people on the internet like to talk
talk
about
about
weevils
that
having snoots and boots because they
they
have
have long
long noses.
right, right.
They're close. They're
They're close.
close. They're all right.
It's
Except for
much
that one that looks like a lizard.
yeah, there's a couple of them that are very beetle-like as opposed to, like, they don't really have the snoot. But yes, I do really like this one. It is quite fun. Um,
That's rad.
so we'll probably play around a little bit with the new web editor too, today. Because if you're not familiar with it, y'all, it's kind of a game changer when it comes to being able to direct the compositions of your prompts, because right now you can do it with words. You could say like, "All right, I want my character to kind of be on one side of the frame." But you'll notice that everything that kind of generates here gives you a character in the center of the image, right? Um, or it gives you the subject of what is inside of your prompt in the center. Uh, we can go way more like in depth with that now by simply starting with the subject and then pulling the canvas out in different directions with the new in painting tools that are part of it, like the crop mixing of cropping and in painting at the same time. Huge. I'm no longer having to do like aspect ratio tricks just to get us so that the characters on the left side of the image, for example, no more panning in that regard. A lot of my my followers and stuff on our Discord has been using it like crazy. Just gotten totally addicted to using the new editor. and I'll be sure to dig into some of that today. Uh, otherwise, the I'm curious how you guys are doing, and seeing how like what kind of projects you guys have been up to. We'll be digging into the character portal on my server. The server is called Gnarly Studios. You're welcome to join it whenever you like, and kind of start submitting things and talking and working out your projects and stuff. If even if you're doing things commercially, it's fine. I really don't mind you doing that. But we did have somebody kind of bring up that they were like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that this was someone else's character." And I'm like, "That's not how it works here. Everything is available for you to use as you wish." I basically have no concept of ownership on that server. So you're welcome to make Sage comics. You're welcome to use Victor. You're welcome to do anything you want because we are the nexus of these characters of these ideas. That we're nothing more than that, and it's just really fun to see you guys spinning off with these characters and spinning off with these ideas in all sorts of different directions. It's just so much fun for me. Let me first just kind of go over how it works here for anybody that's new, because we got enough people now to be able to kind of go through that really quick. So right now we are on the stage, and actually I'll zoom in here. So right now we are on the stage, which you can find by scrolling down. You'll see me, Kinky, and Ancient talking here. And right above the stage, you'll find VC Text and VC Create. VC Create's actually what's happening right now, right to my side here. Oh, wrong direction. Over here. Over here. Um, that is where we're actually generating stuff together. So if you have some stuff you're working on, or you have a character that you've been working on, um, feel free to post it inside of VC Create so that we can remix it and make it our own. We'll be digging into a whole bunch of characters on this feed here. But VC Create on the other, sorry, VC Text on the other hand, is where you guys can chat with me while we're doing the stream. Everything that I do here gets uploaded to YouTube eventually. It usually takes me a couple weeks to edit things down and make it more digestible and stuff. But in terms of like you guys like being able to catch back up with anything we talk about here, you're welcome just to chat with us here so that you can see it on YouTube. Whatever floats your boat, that's fine. But the we'll be occasionally jumping back to the chat here so that you guys can, interact with the stream. But I'm gonna take things a bit easy today. I have a pretty good reason why. Because I've been organizing and running a GoFundMe for a friend of mine. Um, and I'll dig into that here in a bit because I want to make sure the room is nice and full before I dig into the stuff that will probably make me cry. But it is something that I am eager to show you guys because I'm the people that we have organized. I'm not going to name names or anything like that. It is something where there's a bunch of independent artists and stuff involved with this. So I'm excited for it though, and it will be launching on Wednesday. So uh, otherwise, the if you don't mind, Kinky, can you link the Gnarly Studios inside of the chat so that people
Oh, absolutely.
can join? Um, if you go to VC Text here in a moment, there will be a link to the server. You're welcome to join it in order to submit your characters and stuff. And I'm just going to show you guys that really quick so that you all will know what it's going to take to see your characters inside of the worlds that we are building, the stories that we are telling. Thank you so much for that, Kinky. Really appreciate that.
Of course. Of
Well,
course. This little pop-up
pop-up
keeps happening every
every
time I
time I
try to
try to
move servers, and it's really annoying.
Right? Yeah. Anytime there's like a new feature on Discord, it throws me off really hard because there's like I have everything set up in a very specific way. There was like a activities thing that came up at one point, and I was like, "Go away! No, go away!
Yeah.
I don't like you." Uh,
I guess it was a World of Warcraft ad, but like it was literally jumping
jumping
up
up
every
every
time I
time.
tried to move near there.
yeah, no, that's
All right,
awful.
I'm done.
No,
I'll
no.
I'll mute now.
Well, thank you for linking that regardless. I definitely appreciate it. Just feel free to join that. And what's gonna happen when you join is you're going to see the server pop up on the side here. You see my little signature here, which by the way, that signature that's here, that Gnarly Studio signature, right here, the G and the N, that is a generated signature. I asked for what is Victor Gnarly's signature, and then it took me a couple of rerolls to get there. But we have a couple fun things for you guys to do on Gnarly Studios. We have challenges, which the most popular is the make a meme, which is you take your character that you've been working on and then you turn it into a meme. We have the, show me what you got from Rick and Morty. We have various different even like anthropomorphic stuff. Feel free, have fun with it, guys. We really want you to go nuts with this. We even have some really cool animated ones. This is one of our probably one of our most contributed characters, named Kravis. The user that created him is actually like renamed himself to Kravis, so it's pretty cool. What? Okay, I'm always afraid. I know that it's safe, but I'm always afraid to click your spoiler tags, Ancient. My signature in the book is also a generated one. Nice, nice. Yes, I love using generated signatures because it's like a perfect way to be completely anonymous. The I'll tell you right now, when it comes to the arts in general, you never should use your legal signature when you make an art piece. You should use a pen name or something like that, or a different version than what you sign your checks with, because that's a very easy way to get your identity stolen. Is somebody looks at your art on your profile or anything like that, and they just copy your signature and then start using it on legal documents. So a tip, definitely a good tip, because it happens all the time. People don't really realize it, but the challenge section's fun. There's a lot of really interesting use cases, memes that you guys should definitely try contributing to because it's too fun. But inside of the server, though, and this is the key thing here, really, oops, is that we have the character portal. And the character portal lets you be able to submit your characters so that other users can make stories with them. There's a lot of really cool characters in here, guys, and we'll go through how to make your own in this stream. That's the whole point of the workshop and stuff like that. But we even got Kinky here. So if you wanted to say generate with Kinky, the only thing you got to do is click on her inside the character portal, and you'll see that she has from Legal Beagle here a bunch of codes so that you can generate the her with a microphone or without a microphone. Essentially, what you do is you just copy the code here. You can click this little button or you can highlight the whole thing. Either one works. Okay. And then you're going to use it as a character reference. Then that will let you be able to have that character pop up inside of your prompts. So I'm going to copy that here, and we are going to say show servers and go back to Midjourney here. And that should take me right back to, yes. Okay. So now we're in VC create. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit slash imagine, and then I'm going to immediately just give it a premise, right? So what do you want Kinky to be doing here? Let's just say like surfing, surfing USA. Why not? Well, actually, let's make a little more sense. So like surfing in Hawaii, just so that maybe it's a little the context is there. But we're going to use character referencing here. So hyphen cref, okay, and then post the code that's provided by any of the users inside of the character portal. All these links here are essentially different perspectives of the same character. If you click on any of these links after I submit it, you will see that there is a like, let me just open one up here. You'll see that it's just a different generated image of that character. And in this case, Kinky is definitely what see like, okay, here we go. Right off the bat, it's doing great at what we want it to do. So there you go. There's Kinky surfing. So it's really, really cool to be able to just very quickly be able to bring um any of these characters to life doing this stuff. Okay. If you want to see a more anime version of it, rather than this kind of like Hawaii advertisement pop art, a lot of the stuff by default, especially when you're trying to refer to vacation spots and things like that, are going to look like advertisements. Is that the Weevil? Oh my god. Surf and Weevil USA. Yes, that's perfect. But if we now say reroll on this, and you'll notice it pops up a new window for me because I'm in remix mode, I can add Niji 6 to the end of this, and that will refer to entirely an anime data set or Niji journey. Um, and at least when we're talk about like trying to do animated storytelling and stuff, a lot of times without having to like refer to a style reference or to otherwise say, hey, I want an animated movie or whatever. Niji 6 is the easiest way to get more of a drawn aesthetic, right? So to me, it's just a matter of preference. So just go nuts, have fun with it. Um, we're going to kind of dig into a couple of what's kid? Is this a kitty? Snuggling a very old black cat from Gallifrey. Doll. I love the sort of mixed media approach of version 6.1. It definitely does some really interesting blending of like basically false realities. We've noticed that a lot with all the animated characters when you use version 6.1. If you are not seeing a pop-up window whenever you hit reroll or variation, that's because we are using remix mode. And you can go to slash settings, submit that, and you'll see inside of slash settings remix mode. Make sure that is on, because the difference between remix mode being on and off is like the difference between creative expression and an RNG machine, in my opinion. So like we're doing what I call iterative prompting, where we are just basically making adjustments as we keep making things in Midjourney. This character here is Vern, and Vern is from my comic series. It doesn't look like a character; it's just like a plant inside of a pot here, but it is actually an urn. It's Vern, the fern, and the urn, and I love this character. It's really funny what you can do with it, because if you look at just the image of Vern, it's just this potted plant being held, right? It's like literally just the snippet from my comics. And you can do so much silly stuff with Vern. We have one where he has a Glock and he's holding a gun pointing at the audience. It's too funny to me. There you go. Yeah, there's just a lot of fun stuff you can do with character referencing that really takes it to a whole new level, especially when you start to use like inanimate objects and stuff. We did a stream where Ancient turned our fantasy castle into the daily theme, which blew my mind, because by the end of the day I had 8,000 images. It was ridiculous. I saved that at some point and I was like, oh my god, I can't even get through it all. This is ridiculous. um but now that we have about 40 people here and stuff, I do have an announcement to make that I was talking about earlier. So on Wednesday, I will be launching a GoFundMe for my friend Fran and Solveig Sunblad. And let me just kind of open this up here. There you go. So there is no link in the comments. That's just because it's posted for Reddit later. But the Tiffany Eve GoFundMe is going to hopefully cover all their expenses for Soul's Hopkins lymphoma cancer that she was diagnosed with. Sorry, I'm a little. This is hard. It is something that this Wednesday I will be hitting launch on that GoFundMe, and a bunch of artists will be uh, posting that here soon. But I just wanted to let you guys know that if I'm a little distracted and whatnot, that this is why. But yes, we'll have more information about that on the next stream, and I'll probably do a draw and gen, which means that I'll be pulling out the drawing tablet and we'll be making traditional comics and then running them through Midjourney. And seeing what you guys make together on a shared Magma canvas. Anyway, okay, thank you guys so much for hearing me out on that. I'll have a lot more information on the next stream, so I hope you guys join for that one. Thank you so much for that, and I'm just gonna pop over to the chat here really quick. Um, let's see. K girl said, "Victor, you're so awesome for." Oh, it's the least I can do, honestly. It's the least I can do, and they're very proud people. They were very hesitant about doing this at all. I needed their permission to do it, but it is something that like they were like, "Oh, we just need some gas money," and I was like, "No, no, 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 no! I'm gonna make sure this is a huge blowout. I want to make sure that I want to make sure this like as much of your expenses are covered as possible." So I'm working with the mods over at r dash comics on Reddit. They're going to push this real big for the public. There's going to be about a dozen artists that are contributing original works to support the GoFundMe, and I was so surprised by everyone just being like, "Big group hug, let's make this work." And yeah, um, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to bring this to them. But okay, all right. Sorry about that. Hold on, just I need a second.
So if it's your first time here, K girl, you're gonna love it. Victor will tell you all about how to do character creation and using character references and whatnot.
Thank you for that, Kinky. I appreciate it. I just needed a
Of
second.
course.
Sorry
Yeah,
about
no, no, no. Drink
that.
some water or something.
No, no, it's
Um,
okay. It's okay. I appreciate
my
that.
grandmother went through the same thing, and that's going to be an awesome thing to do for Tiffany.
Thank you for that, Kinky. I really do appreciate it. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get this image off of the screen because that's what's doing it for me. Okay, all right. So, but thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate all this from you guys, all the well wishes and stuff. More info next week. But at this point, I'm definitely gonna start digging into some of the characters that you guys have created inside of the character portal, and I just yeah, it is something that in order to kind of like share your characters and things like that, I'm excited that we all have like a single place to do that together. Um let's go ahead and do that. Boop. So we have a brand new one uh, that is called Mop from Lolo Soon, and I am so excited for this character because there is so much like silly cartooning that we can do with this one here. It's brand new from a brand new user who just joined the server. And Let me just go ahead and bring that character into here. They've provided a complete prompt for us today. So by copying and pasting that here, you can see there is a style reference that's in here. There's also a character reference, as well as some default codes, including a high stylize. You can go up to 1,000 with this number. If you essentially 850 or higher is like kind of where I stick around 850 because I want a little bit of wiggle room when it comes to the stylization. Um, but it is something that the exact prompt is a cute purple and brown mop with two large googly eyes crawling on the floor of a wizard workshop, an enchanted mop, flat color, illustration, minimalist composition, soft lighting, and bold shadows. So I'm going to submit that for you guys here. And then I'll do one where we just say that it's like an animated fantasy film instead, and we can see just how much of those words that are needed for um for this character in order to make it continuous, because that's really where the key difference is when it comes to a lot of the like character referencing is like crazy powerful. It will dominate whatever is written in your prompt to such a degree that sometimes you don't even need to have any of the kind of building or guiding words for it. The description of it being a mop is giving the scaling correct. Like, look at this. Like, it's definitely giving us a dirty floor, a little like it basically like we have something about the size of a bucket. And if you look at the character in inside of the character portal, it's like go to bed. And then he's like, okay, good girl. And it goes to bed in its bucket. It's just too damn funny and cute. And me and the mods over at Gnarly Studios have been just loving this little character here. So I would love for you guys inside of VC Create to kind of explore this character a bit, just because like I would love to see Lola soon like just kind of wake up and go, wait a minute, why is there a hundred images of this character? That would be really fun for a brand new member to experience. So if you wanted to say like this character is, a cute purple and brown mop with two large googly eyes, and then give it like a description, right? So like or like an action. Um, let's let's we can basically be like uh uh fighting fighting a troll under a bridge. What is a mop? How is the mop gonna fight? You know what I mean? Under a bridge. We'll just see what it does. But I am gonna do one additional change here, just so you guys can see what this does. We have the aspect ratio currently set by default from Lolasoon at 16:9, which is the aspect ratio of like TV and film. We can actually go even a little bit more taller and wider to give us a little bit more comic panel-y sort of feeling, but still have it be cinematic and wide by using 3:2. It just gives us a little more headroom and a little more bottom to the image. Because a lot of times with movies, like you're cropping it, like you're specifically aiming for a certain camera angle and stuff. And square to me gives us some of that, but it's still it like 3:2 is my favorite because it gives us the middle ground between 1:1 and 16:9, and it just works really great for that. So the let's see what it do for fighting a troll under a bridge. If we were to drop the character weight down, it will start to lose some aspects of this character, but it may introduce the troll better. So let's see here. So we definitely got something like a troll, kind of like here, but let's go ahead and drop the character weight and see what that does with this, because this is I'm playing this by the seat of my pants at this point, guys. It's been such a busy week for me, organizing close to like a dozen artists, if not more. At this point, I'm quite hopeful that we get more than that. But but if we drop the character weight here, we can see what that do. What is this? Uh, Having coffee with his Weevil friend. Oh no! For those that missed it earlier, I went to take a sip of my coffee and there was a weevil hanging out inside of my coffee, and it really grossed me out. But this is too funny. Like this is too damn cute. I like this. This is awesome. Um the oh wow. Okay, there it actually has a mop now. That's so funny. So if we drop the character weight, it actually starts to introduce the prop of a mop. Ooh, that rhymed. So now that we know that, it basically like it lets us just experiment. It lets us see where, oh, are you petting the mop? Let's see here. I love how it has teeth now. That's too funny. So I'm gonna let you guys play with that for a bit. I'm gonna start bringing in some other characters too. I found a really easy way to do this, by the way, was to basically um have a second window open with just Gnarly Studios open here. So let's go ahead and grab this one I want to show though before I switch off. There is a whole character series inside of the character portal from Legal Beagle called the Municipal Gnomes, and they're essentially like civil engineers and traffic and repair folks, like people who clean up the messes of all the fantasy shenanigans that we get into. So if you blow up a part of Phantasma, which is the fantasy city that we're setting in, then the municipal gnomes come in and they clean it up. Okay. So yeah, I love Legal Beagle's kind of whole character series he's got here for that. And you'll find it if you just scroll down, you'll find the municipal gnomes here eventually. There they are. So it's a little like it's a little zoomed in on this screen, but you'll see that there's just tons of submissions of different attempts at doing the municipal gnome traffic cone. Um, I keep rhyming today by accident. Um, but I really do love these characters. I think that there's a lot of potential for silly shenanigans and stuff. And people are telling comics now with animated gifs so that you can really like interact with um this world in real time, whether you're doing that with AI video or you're just doing it with like, various different generated images. It's much better to, in my opinion, to do in painting, where you're in painting small parts of it to like change the character's hands or positions or anything like that. uh, you'll be able to have a lot of fun telling stories that way and then turning them into gifs later. So I'll show you guys probably how to do that here in a bit. But let's grab a couple other characters here. If we got ancient here, because we brought in what is it? Because we brought in the kinky here, we should pay our respects and also do ancient here. So let's what scenario should we give ancient actually? So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna write hyphen hyphen cref and leave this blank. And I want to see what you guys do with it. And we're going to do the last stream we had Funuckle on here, and I had so much fun with her. It was so silly to be able to be like, all right, we're gonna take your original glitch art and we're gonna turn them into characters. And they are not characters. It's literally like a bunch of body parts and random not random, she chose every part of it, but a bunch of like discombobulated imagery, and then say, all right, this is actually a character. What do you do with it? And Fnuckle was just like exploding with excitement inside of the chat with you guys. So that was really fun. But if we do this the way we did with hers, we're gonna do this as a void prompt. So we do quotes, two quotes, and that's it. Okay. And so it's a cref with just two quotes at the front. And what this does is it actually accesses a different area of latent space. It's a little hard to explain, um, but essentially it's the same space that you'd be like doing text and written stuff. So look at Ancient. Ancient just being awesome inside of this space here. I love void space. It lets me find all sorts of really interesting places to go. I've told stories inside of void space before. So like you just take your character and put the two coats in the front and then that's it. You just explore that area. And it just to give you an idea of where this is going, if you put a quote in here, so like uh Weevil Man. He's the Weevil Man. If we just put Weevil Man, if there was, oh, I didn't spell Weevil right. That's okay. If you just put Weevil Man by itself, it is just going to give a prompt probably with bugs in it and stuff. But as a quote, it technically should try to put the text somewhere in there. But if we now tell it to specifically evoke that text, like say speech bubble that reads uh Weevil Man, then there will most likely be a text bubble that reads that. Um inside of the prompt somewhere. It's very important to write that reads because it does this really interesting thing where if you don't do that, if you don't say that reads or whatever it says for the speech bubble or whatever, if you just put it in quotes, it almost looks like the character is trying to say those words. Like the mouth shape matches the expectation. This is all placebo, I think. This is all just in my head, but like I've noticed that sometimes I will remove that reads in order to get the mouth to match shape whatever's in the quotes. So kind of blows my mind sometimes when that just randomly works. Um but now we got the Weevil Man and Weevil Man. Like it's amazing what you can do to tell traditional comics by using that reads inside of your um the what is it inside of that prompt. So let's see. Legal Beagle said inside, oh no, the consistency was great for Niji 6, but 6.1 is starting to show both eyes again. Yeah, there every new version of Midjourney, even iterative versions like 6.1 between 6 and 6.1 or Niji, especially between Niji and version 6 right now, is going to have dramatically different consistency of your characters. So if you have an anime character, all right, then you'll certainly see that it gets less consistent if you use version 6 versus Niji, especially if you design the character in Niji and you try to switch to a different version of Midjourney, you'll see those issues. Oh my God, what is Victor? Okay, a skeuomorphic, which by the way, skeuomorphic is like a graphic design term. A skeuomorphic mall goth wearing black pants with wings on his hips, flying by the seat of my pants is the quote, and the pants have wings. So it tries to give you the image that makes the most sense, based on like the general concept that you're going for. So sometimes if you just write a silly phrase in the middle of it, it just will ignore it because it doesn't make sense. But all these quotes are just text on the bottom. That's how they're popping up here. So now if I hit reroll on this, and then I say, uh, I hit period here, and then I say, speech bubble that reads flying by the seat of my pants. And then I'm going to remove the pants have wings because that's just not showing up at all in the results. So we're going to do this. Skeuomorphic is one of those words where it's always spelled wrong uh, what is it? If we come in here, so it's the fact that skeuomorphic isn't a real word. Actually, it's skeuomorphism. That is like I've been using skeuomorphic. Let's actually copy this here. This is from Google. So if it still says that it's wrong, okay, no, we're good. I'm just gonna put skeuomorphism in there just to see what it do. Um, a troll fighting with the mop, and you guys are. He's basically just using the mop. But what you can do now is you can actually insert the character into there. So like upres one of these, and then do an in paint and start to bring the character reference back up, or sorry, the character weight back up, and that will fix a lot of that stuff. So awesome. Let's ooh, he's got an orb. Catboy holding a glowing fireball. Yes. Yes. I love this energy. I love the energy that you guys are going for here. But look here. All right, there you go. Now there's a speech bubble that probably has text that looks about right. I'm not going to zoom in for this right now. But the it's amazing what you can do to start build comics, especially comics that are you know, really interesting compositions at this point. You always get the character in the center. You can use the new web editor in order to get even more advanced than this. But for now, we're just going to let you guys explore this for a minute. And I definitely want to see any sort of, you know, use cases of these characters that we have all built together. Right now, we're featuring, you know, Kinky, Ancient, and myself. We all kind of hang out here as silly little anime characters for the most part, and it's just really fun. But we also have an after party on my server where you can come on the stage and chat with me directly, and we can talk about your projects and things like that. So be sure to join Gnarly Studios. If you don't mind, Kinky, posting that one more time, that would be great.
You got
And
it.
awesome. And you'll see that inside of the text chat here. Essentially, once you join, you'll be able to jump on the voice chat, talk to me directly, as well as some of our mods, Rhapsody, I troll for you, assuming that they're able to come. I make no obligations for people. Everyone's got busy lives that they got going on. So yeah, we'll see who joins at the end. Rhapsody already told me that she'll probably be out, so I will be hosting the after party today, and it'll probably be pretty short because frankly, like today is kind of an emotional wreck for me. So I'm going to try my best to get through everything, but I would really love to see you there because that's where you guys can interact with me directly. But at this point, what we can do is like say I really like this result here. Okay. And we have okay, this there's some really cool, oh my god. There's some really cool stuff with Victor that I'm digging here. I want you guys to explore these three characters to start, but you'll find more inside of
Hey,
the link.
Victor.
Yeah?
I'm wicked sorry. I don't want to interrupt you, but
No, you're
K
fine.
girl, right before you started talking about Fran, had asked how we do what we use to do consistent characters. So I think that they might need to be caught up.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sure, sure. More than happy to get there. So we are using something called character referencing, which is hyphen hyphen cref. But you'll notice that they have a bunch of links that are at the end here. These links here are essentially individual images of the character at different angles and different compositions. So what you notice here is what we this is like a close up, right? But if we go to the next image here, it's what is it? More of a medium shot, and so on and so forth. All these, and this is just the back, right? We're basically making a character turnaround or a character sheet, and each one of these links will combine together or blend together to create the character itself. So if I take all these links and copy them and run them as a simple image blend, so no character referencing, nothing like that. The only thing we're doing is we're just pasting the links inside of Midjourney. What that's essentially going to do is going to make it so that we see what Midjourney actually uses for the character reference. Okay, because it's blending all these results together. And that result, the diversity that you see in the results that you get from this image blend is what's used for your character reference. Okay. So if you have a bunch of random images that don't really make sense, you're going to see like a lot of lacking consistency in this. But because each one of these results has a character that is like similar, but from a different angle, the most important thing is each one of these links need to be unique. There are 3D artists that make this mistake with me. They go, "Oh, I want a perfectly consistent character, so I'm just going to take a 3D model and I'm going to spin it around, and I'm just going to use three different angles of that same character." That means your character is going to be incredibly sterile. It's not going to do anything interesting because you don't have a range of expressions, you don't have a range of positions, you don't have a range of camera angles that are applied to your character. So each one of these images here has an intent behind it. Like I want an angry Victor here. I want a a happy smiling with his broken ass teeth. You know what I mean? Like there's all sorts of little character notes that I am adding in here, as well as just referencing the character itself. Okay. So that means that if I say reroll here and then I add hyphen hyphen character referencing and then we add looking at the sunset at the start of this, okay, there is a very good chance that we're going to see the back of Victor's head with this because we are directing the scene, we're directing the composition to most likely not face the camera. Um, the most of the what is it? Looking at the sunset stuff tends to be where you can start to see the lean on. Okay, now we have the back of his head. Now we have the side profile view, that kind of thing. But now, if we drop the character referencing a little bit, let's go to like 60 hyphen hyphen CW. You're going to see more likely that we get a clean just back at the head shot because the prompt by default for looking at the sunset tends to be the back of someone's head, which is just a neat little trick to be able to say, hey, I want to get the backside of this character very easily. There you go. The top left one is probably what I would use. And then you can just in paint around it to create a different scene, but it's always going to have that sunset highlight on it if you use this prompt specifically. So yeah, I these little tricks are super handy, but like things like this, like I love this sort of profile view of Victor here. This is only possible because there's a lot of diversity inside of the character reference here. We can use a single image as a character reference, and we can probably get some amount of consistency with that. But I really like to be able to do the blends in order to kind of get this. K Girl says, how do you get all the individual links for each character? So that's pretty easy. The only thing you got to do is once you have a bunch of different angles of your character from prompting or even drawing, like I highly recommend drawing traditional just to give it a try. But once you have them, it's really easy. So let's say this image here, we want to use as one of those links. We're going to right click it and hit copy. You can also, if you're on mobile, you can grab the image link itself, but just paste the image anywhere inside of Discord. Okay. And what that's going to do is it'll give you the image here, but you can actually open it up and get a link for that image at the top here. that link is now that link that you can use for your character referencing. He's surfing ancient, yeah. And by building up a library of like character references, you will eventually find that you are able to hold a consistent character with all sorts of different prompts and stuff. You may only need one picture, but understand that that one picture is going to heavily limit the diversity of the results that you get, where the only option you have at that point is to drop the weight of the character, which means consistency starts to falter. It starts to, like, if I do a character weight of 0 on Victor, he's wearing everything from tie-dye t-shirts to big baggy hoodies and completely changing gender too, by the way, because Victor kind of hops between male and female at lower character weights. So it is certainly true that the easier way to do it, especially if you are like, okay, I really, really want to make sure that we get the back of his head at one point, then we're going to grab that one link of him from the back of the head and then use that individual image. So looking at the sunset, for example, CRF, boom, and then paste that link into there. Then we write Niji6 just to get it anime. That will almost guarantee that we always see the back of Victor's head as the result of that, because there's no other reference point whatsoever for Victor here. And that's very, very handy. And it comes with having a character sheet or like basically like a collection of these images on a single image or a single like reference. But you'll notice that Victor is not accurate anymore. Like this, his profile is a bit weird. He doesn't have the screwed up teeth. There's there's negatives to doing this method too, but I really, really like doing this when I'm storytelling because it means that I can quickly come into here and simply grab my links from earlier. Okay, so like let's scroll up here. We're gonna only do copy and paste before I show you guys the prefer functions, but we're gonna copy all of our links again at the start of this and then come over to here and then find within painting all the inaccuracies, which is not a lot here. It's more like his what is it? It's more like the little bit of the ears and stuff. So this one isn't too much of a big deal. Let's go to the one that had the most errors in order to fix it. So let's do this one here. Wait, did you drop the kick? Yeah, look at that. Wearing a big baggy tie-dye hoodie. Hell yeah. Oh, I love this. This is awesome. I love that. That's great. But if we now look at this image here and then we do vary region, okay, we can now replace that single link from the cref and replace it with all the links from Victor from earlier. We will then, and I'll zoom in here so it's a little easier to see. And then we are going to use the lasso tool inside of Discord. We're going to switch over to the web editor here in a minute so you guys can see all the new fun stuff that's from there. But what we can do is now find all the inconsistencies of Victor, which is pretty easy. It's just the profile of his face is what's wrong here. And we'll go with this as a pretty big in paint at this point. It does make sense to kind of limit your in paints when you like, for example, like if you like the chin, keep the chin, that kind of thing. But if you need the character to be talking, you need to remove the chin entirely because you're going to need a new head shape to account for that. So now that we've replaced all the character referencing here, we can hit paste, and then we'll see how the side of his face looks. He might even look weird in the sense that it's forcing a profile of him. So you may want to grab the image that matches, that makes the most sense for this. And you could see, yes, it's doing exactly that. It turned his head towards camera, and we need to now lower the amount of space that we're in painting to compensate for that. Sometimes you want this. Sometimes you want to be able to say, "Hey, give me the control here." But if we now come into here, delete the in paint that we did earlier, and we preserve the back of the head, we preserve the ear and stuff, we just basically shrink the in painting area down to just a little sliver of the front of the face. Then we can submit that and see how well it interprets that. And it really depends on your character, right? Like if you're like, we have another character that is worked on our server that kind of reminds me, like the entire series the guy's working on reminds me of Scavenger's Reign, which if you haven't seen Scavenger's Reign, it's actually an Adult Swim production, like a pilot that got picked up to become a full HBO series because HBO owns Adult Swim. And I used to work for Adult Swim. So it's like, oh, wow, this is awesome to see a movie grade production of something that would have only been like kind of, it would have been a lot rougher and a lot cheaper done if it was just on Adult Swim. But if you kind of scroll through here, let's see if we can find his character. This is a really cool character. So like Akari, I love Akari so much. There's like so much cool stuff you can do with Akari. Sword lady, badass sword lady. Um, Rodney is Legal Beagle's fan character from the Sage comics as well. But if we come into here, and if you're having trouble finding the characters, right? Like for example, let's pull up Sage's mother, for example. Then we can come up to the top of the character portal here and just write Destiny, because that's Sage's mother's name, and you'll get Destiny Starchild, and get all of her links and stuff like that. So Destiny is easily my biggest fan favorite. So it's pretty fun to see what people do with them, especially on Instagram. Let's see what the rest of the text chat's saying. K Girl says, I can't draw. Oh, you can draw. You just have to put time into it. Everyone can draw. Everybody can draw. You just have to put time into it. The it is just something that Midjourney will get you going. It'll get you interested in finding out maybe what methods or styles you want to get into. But yes, you can draw. I promise you. How many character references do you think I should create for my character? You can do as low as one and get a lot of really consistent results. But in terms of the different angles and stuff like that, I would go between 3 and 5 to start, and then kind of hone in from there. So if you're noticing like the same image is just constantly popping up, you probably need to add an image. If you notice that if there's a lot of weird irregularities, like your character's just super inconsistent, then you might need to delete some of those links. But the real crux of it is patterns, because we're really just identifying patterns and turning them into math. And so if you have a bunch of random like clothing patterns, like say like like tie-dye, for example, if every one of your tie-dye results is a different look, like like the splotches on the shirt are in different places on the image, then you're going to always get a different hoodie. Like you're going to always get a different tie-dye effect that's on there. Sometimes to a degree that's a little off-putting. Like for example, people that do like scrap robots, right? Like any sort of like junkyard robots, which there is a really fun one right now called Junk Tour. But the reason why Junk Tour works and the other scrap bots didn't was because here, I'll clear this really quick. Let's pull up Junk Tour here. The reason why Junk Tour works so much is because he's wearing the red jacket. It's let's pull up Junk Tour here. So Junk Tour is part of the sci-fi kind of world that we're building, and I have no involvement with the sci-fi world. I think it's super neat that you guys are like going hard with it, and it's super cool to like be like, I'll wake up and you guys have entirely told a little story about one of these characters, right? But what's cool about Junk Tour is that you could see that there's like a neat character sheet for him from different angles. And I Troll for You is one of like the best at doing what we do here. And look at the comic that he built. It having the kind of like numbers and stuff charging, and just seeing this character like basically in an empty abandoned world is just super neat. But then he runs into a girl named Vio, okay, called Vio the Lost. And they have created entire comics that interact with multiple characters from our series here. So how do I get home? You get out of here. Like there's all sorts of like things that people can learn also about doing storytelling, like especially some of the text here is a little hard to read, but that's okay. I don't really mind that stuff because you guys are all learning and everybody's really new to this, okay? And when it comes to, like, I see there's already a question about Photoshop. Yes, I definitely use Photoshop quite heavily. None of these comics are mine. These are you guys going nuts and having fun with it. So the definitely start digging into like this. I love this image of Theo. It reminds me of Fooly Cooley. That was what my comment was like, I love Fooly Cooley a lot. And anytime I see a cool anime girl with a baseball bat, I think that it's fully cool. Either a baseball bat or a guitar, especially if you use the guitar like a baseball bat. Then it's just straight up fully cool. um, the new tools here, we're able to create a more dynamic composition. So, like for example, if I wanted to take this image of Victor here and go to the editor, then say I want to be able to come into here and just make this nice and wide. I can come in and get rid of now the character referencing because I don't want the character to show back up in what we're doing here. And I can essentially just say like let's put sailboat on the water and then submit that. And what will happen here is now we're getting an off center image of the sailboat on the water. There you go. It is certainly true that, depending on the composition that you're aiming for and whatnot, you're going to, especially if you have experience working with graphic design, graphic arts, that kind of thing. This is just awesome. It's just awesome to be able to quickly create a specific composition by starting with the feature set, which is your character or an object or whatever's in your prompt, and then cropping around until you created your final image, which is how the characters are being used inside of the character portal as of lately. So, okay, I'm going to take a little break here. I need to get some water in me really quick. But thank you guys for letting me entertain you and getting nowhere with a guitar neck for 15 minutes. I apologize about that. There is a lot of like kind of shoot at the hip sort of stuff here. Sometimes things go wrong, sometimes they go right. And I've been told that when things go wrong is like the most educational moments. So I really do hope that that was worth it. But you could see all the cool stuff that you guys are making here. I'm good. After I get back, I'm going to read the text chat from you guys and kind of catch up here. Kinky, if you wanted to,
Yeah. No,
interlude, feel
I was
free.
just waiting.
There you go.
I was just waiting for you to stop. I didn't want to interrupt, but here I am, and I don't know what you guys are doing this weekend, but if it's not much and you feel like hanging out, I kind of have this little thing that I do on the weekends that we call prompt battles. Um, it is a live event on the server where we do like a game, and it happens every 15 minutes. Every 15 minutes, somebody makes a suggestion as to what we should prompt, and then we all prompt it for 10 minutes, and then we put it into something called a poll unit, and we all vote on it, and whoever wins chooses the next thing that we're gonna prompt. And you can win free fast hours and meet new people and learn how to prompt things that you probably wouldn't have thought to prompt, and find cool new SREFs. And it's just an unbelievable way to learn and have a good time. And some people stay all day, both days, and they're crazy, and I love them. But you don't have to. You can stay like for one or two rounds. You could just vote and watch quietly in the distance. It's all up to you. But you don't have to win a round to get a participation prize. We do free participation hours. And what else? What am I missing? Yeah, Gallifrey, who is my lovely co-host, says that you don't have to go. You don't have to stay the whole day. You can come and go as you please. And really smart says we love prompt battles. And Snoopy says I'm chained to the desk in the cave. Snoopy is one of those who does stay all weekend. Um, Gallifrey says, "Hush now, get back in your cave." But we do it for Saturday and Sunday. On Saturdays we start at 3:30 p.m. and go on until 10 p.m. Eastern, and then on Sundays we go from 10 a.m. Eastern to 6 p.m. And a lot of the people that are in here right now are always there. Composite, you do not need to join voice for it at all. You can talk in text, or you can join voice if you want. It's a great time. And like I don't prompt during prompt battles, so I speak for the voiceless. So those people that type into the text. If I'm not currently like creating a poll unit or something like that, I do that. And I'll add the Sunday link to the chat too, so you can see it in your time. And I hope you come. Let's see if
Thank
I'll grab
right
that
there.
for
Yeah.
you. No worries.
Why
Thank
they
you.
get No, thank you so much, Genki. I appreciate you
Mhm.
doing that. Um, it is a lot of fun. I highly recommend you all go. Let me turn myself back on here. There we go. All right. Um, so it is certainly true that when it comes to seeing the sheer diversity of what people can do inside of Midjourney, prompt battles is the best place, and you get free fast hours. It's just a really smart thing to visit. Um, but I guess at this point, guys, I want to read through the comments here because I know that I kind of ignored the comments for a minute there to get through the new editor. I see Gom Pasta. It's good to see you from the server. I really love that you've been contributing and hanging out and stuff. Um, we have Midjourney doesn't yet understand orientation of XYZ, position left, right, up, and down. Let's hope version 6.2 is coherent in that matter. Image prompting will guide most of it, but it is certainly true that as soon as you prompt for something, it's going to be very heavily leaning in towards of what everyone else or what the majority of those images inside of Midjourney's knowledge base is going to do. There is no like there's a big misconception when it comes to like generated images in general. Like we're talking about noise here. We're talking about fuzzy little, thumbnails that represent different things, different objects, different landscapes, different whatever is in the words. And if there's a lot of commonality between that noise, it's you have to push away from it. It's called a gravity well. Like I've seen it called that. It's not officially called that. It's just something that we've noticed is it feels like a gravity well that you constantly have to fight against. And negative prompting is a great way to avoid that, but in general, you just want to kind of explore what common patterns you see and then remove those patterns because that will let you be able to explore new places. Gum pasta, silly cat girl with a short white messy hair, red eyes, red glasses, gesturing towards the viewer. She looks excited. Simple meme emoji style. Speech bubble to text prop battles. Okay, that's stupid cute. I love your OC there, gum pasta. That's too cute with the big red glasses. Um, so yeah, it is. It is.
Fantastic. Can you make me that to a banner so I can have it
Yeah, do it, do
and
it.
use it?
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna see it get used on Midjourney. By the way, is like one of the biggest Discord servers on the planet. It's like what 20 million users or something. It's definitely an honor to become a banner on that, and I feel so grateful to be able to be here every Friday for you guys and prompting stuff with you. But let's go through a couple more comments here. It certainly did not like the upside down guitars. Let's see. Let's see if there's something that isn't. I'm multitasking. I definitely missed the details. There is some details in disk images appearing on web. Makes sense. There's a couple of things that you'll notice that there's just interesting patterns. It's glorious. Yes. Okay, cool. All right, we're back where we were. Cool. At this point, let's see. Ooh, yes, yes, thumbs up. I wish the editor on web lets you specific aspect ratio. Yeah, I mean it does in the sense that there's it lets you be like here. If I just pull it up here real quick, I'm just gonna grab a random image from down here. Let's grab this one here, and then oops, I got to go to the editor here. I'm gonna shrink this down here real quick. Hit editor. It does let you set at the specific aspect ratios. So if I now zoom in here, it's on the top right corner. It'll let you set this specific aspect ratio. And not only that, it lets you also be able to move it inside of that aspect ratio. So we have it now set to 1:2. And I am going to say inside of the prompt here, first I'll remove the character reference because the character is already in the frame here. And I'm going to do a space shuttle launch, not 5:2 option for kinky. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You can get close and then crop it manually with like, movie maker or whatever. Or sorry, not movie maker. What am I saying? MS Paint. you know, just crop it to that. But I'm gonna say space shuttle launch because I'm a 90s kid and I remember watching the space shuttles. It's so weird to say that they don't, like that's not how we go to space anymore. It's with private SpaceX and stuff. But I'm going to hit submit on this. And what we should see is a space shuttle launching into space at the top of the frame here. And it's not it's kind of looks like the shuttle, but it's definitely more of a rocket, which is fine. I'm just doing this for demo for you guys here. But you could see that it also kept the feature set in the center. You know what I mean? So if we now say on Google space shuttle launch, and we grab an image of what maybe we're more imagining, right? Which probably is like an angle shot or something. Like this is a lot of it is coming up from bottom down. So let's grab this image here. We can use just copy image address, but I'm just going to say copy image. And then inside of Midjourney here, I'll go back to the image we were editing. Go to here, editor, and you see that we're going to now paste that image into here. And because it might make it a little more framey, we're also going to inpaint some of the edges of this. And I say framey like it's going to feel a little bit more like a comic panel or something if we don't do this. This is something Ancient recommended a little earlier. We're going to kind of fuzzy up the edges here and then hit submit. If we want it to be more literal, more exact to this exact composition, we can add an image weight hyphen IW, and then let's not do 3. Let's do like 2.2, like higher but not maxed out, and then hit submit. And now we can compare these two. And there you go. It now evokes much more the angle of that traditional space shuttle launch, as well as with the two piston or the two jet engines on the side. And you can see by adding that higher image weight, it's even more literal. It's even closer to that result. This is almost perfect to what it was before. We just now need to inpaint to make this more accurate to the space shuttle by including images of the space shuttle and maybe using that as a character reference for here. So if we want to build a quick, so let's just remove the word launch and let's build a quick image library of the space shuttle. So first, we'll grab a couple images that make sense. So we want to make sure. In fact, it's kind of funny. This one might work on its own because it's multiple angles in the same image. But what we want to do is we want to find other angles of this. So I'm going to select this and then go to Google's recommendation of other images, and we can start to find the other angles of the space shuttle. So let's grab this one here, and it's really handy to use Google for this because Google will recommend images that are similar to each other, right? So you kind of get the different angles just right off the bat there. So let's grab these 3 images. 1, 2, well, it's inside of here somewhere. Um, let's go back on the and then 3. So let's grab, this is the one from Nat Geo. Oh, okay, yeah, it's fine. We can work off of these 2 here. So let's grab this image here, copy it, go into Midjourney here, and we're gonna paste that under the editor. Hit editor. Actually, no, shoot. I need to actually inpaint this real quick. Let's go to editor, and then we'll inpaint the shuttle here, just wherever it's kind of wrong. So let's go for this here, and we'll now paste the other images in there. Copy, paste. Okay, so now we have 3 images that are currently being used as image prompts. Okay, we could probably get away with that, but let's go ahead and switch all 3 of these to a character reference. Okay, by hitting the 3 little dudes that are there, and then we'll hit submit on this. What should happen is it should see the similarities of this of what we're kind of prompting for here and start to build a more accurate version because of what our selections were, but also like uh what is it what images we're working with here. So let's see, is this just about done? Yes. And now look at that. That is way more accurate than before. It has the piston underneath it. We need to make them longer. We need to make them red, like that kind of thing. But all of these results are much closer to the original shuttle. I would say like the first and the third one are good. And you just start to recreate the elements inside of your results that way. Very, very cool. I think this is a great way to uh what is it to does it build up your results in chunks. It's called iterative prompting, basically. That's what we're doing here. So there you go. That's a neat way to do it. by switching to character reference for even non-characters. If you can use inanimate objects as characters, it's fine. Okay, so at this point, seeing as we might have a little bit of a new crowd here, I do want to kind of go through really quick. This Wednesday, I will be launching the GoFundMe for the Tiff and Eve creators, Fran Sunblad and Solveig Sunblad. They are the creators of Tiff and Eve, and they've been going through a hard time. Hopkins lymphoma cancer is what Soul has been dealing with, and it's just we're going to try to give them some support. So this Wednesday, I'll be launching the GoFundMe with about a dozen or so artists, and I want to see. I'll be posting about it basically all over the place. But next stream, I'll have the link for you guys so that you guys are able to donate directly if you want. So I just wanted to give a little update on that. More info later. Um, but otherwise, if you hop over to my server and we grab any of the character references that are in here, you're able to build original stories with us. And if you don't mind, Kiki, one more time, link in that server link. Um, we have all sorts of characters here. We've been checking out various ones. This was actually the one from the last stream. You guys chose the name for this in the middle of the stream. Astrid von Barnacles. And Lolosun also created some original images for this kind of country girl mule donkey character. It's an anthro, so if you're looking to make furry stuff, there is a couple furries inside of the character portal. Um, so you're welcome to take these, use them as you like, and I really love to see what you do with it. And turn them into video, turn them into comics, turn them into just maybe like a little reference image for a narrative or story that you're telling. There's a lot of options for you guys there. I really want to see what you all do. And the way that you use it is that you go up to the top here and it is included as an image prompt. But I believe yes, original image with the prompt. Usually I recommend including like your entire prompt here so that other people can quickly copy it. And we can now hop ourselves back over to Midjourney here. And we will come in and say /imagine and just paste their prompt. And that way you're able to edit it as you like. I'm going to take another sip here of my drink while you guys check out the characters inside the character portal. And then also scroll up just a little bit so you guys can see, like, oh my God, Snoopy typing on a computer with a platonic cave. Like, there's a lot of really cool stuff from you guys here. And then we'll check out the results of that character reference. So I'll be right back. Why am I a judge? I am Judge Victor in so many of these results. Oh, this Snoopy one's real pretty though, and this is just a straight prompt, so there's no like kind of blending of styles or anything like that. It's really cool though. Platonic caves, because sometimes you just don't like the caves that way. Yes, exactly.
I was complimenting everybody on mute. Sorry about that.
You're good. Feel free to talk.
I
I'll
know,
take
but like,
I'll take another sip here.
yeah, I wanted to. I was saying that I loved Snoopy's picture or the Snoopy picture, and I accidentally called it Snoopy's picture, and then I just did it again. Uh, but I think that was really great, and I wanted to say thank you to Gum Pasta for making that little picture for me, and I'm gonna put it on Twitter, and and hopefully it'll make some people want to come play prop battles. And
Awesome.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Oh no, it's another spoiler text from Ancient in here. What is this kind of like Let's see. I'd see Victor in a high fashion male model walking the runway catwalk in his finest black shirt and black jeans and black Doc Martin shoes, full body. I love where you guys know my character so well. It's so awesome. I just lost the game. Oh no, you lost the game. But yes, it's certainly doing that fashion walk with this. This is so funny. There's a lot of links in here. It's a lot of image blending. It's a lot of character referencing. So very cool. Style referencing, character referencing. Yes, a lot of that all just kind of blending in together. I love seeing this from you guys. Um, okay, all right. Um, so I do want to say that on September the 2nd, I believe, I will be posting a new Sage comic. I believe that is after next stream. So we'll be doing a couple of like Sage related comic stuff next week as well. So I'll launch the GoFundMe and then we'll make a comic for Reddit that will launch within a couple days. Like it'll be pretty fun to do. Um I'm if you're not familiar with my comic series, Tumbling Up and just the Victor comics in general, you can find them at gnarlycomics.com. So let's just open up Gnarly Comics and you'll see that there is various different projects that I have put together for you guys. These are complete stories. So it basically like if you want to reference any of these, you're you're welcome to. But a lot of the style referencing that I use for this series comes from this website. So if if you like any of the way that I tell stories in my comics and you want to replicate that, you can actually make a style reference by using these images that are here. Okay. So I had a lot of fun making the Working for the Weekend series. I almost all of my comics are either a spoof or just like me straight up taking the title of the song from the late 80s or early 90s. And essentially what I'm doing here is trying to tell a story about not trying, I very much am telling a story about a girl that works for a big tech company in New York. And the last comic that I had got so big on Reddit. Just a moment here, I'll pull it up here. Reddit's kind of funny because I have to like very specifically open it in a way for you guys to be able to read it. So let's see here. Boom. Okay, boom. There you go. Um, so this comic here is my biggest comic to date. It is 41,000, oh, no, 42,000 upvotes. It got 4 million views on Reddit. And I was so happy to see everyone so excited to really bring this story to a head when it comes to the characters and who they are and everything else. I've been building up to a lot of different like little references, especially to Michael. Michael is one of my favorite characters, and I'm excited to be able to, you know, kind of dig into deeper character story stuff instead of just doing spoopy, jokey meme stuff about like OJ Simpson and whatnot. Um, this comic here is it resonated with a lot of people, especially people that grew up in the 90s and stuff where there was this kind of like fandom or not fandom like fandom what's the word for it, it's just it was a transformative time for a lot of people. So I'm gonna only show the first two panels here for you guys, okay? But I'm gonna show you guys how to use the Sage comics as a style reference without kind of getting all sorts of murky results because some people get really confused by this. At least my methods for doing this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this image here and I am going to hop us over to Photoshop in order to show you guys how to create a style reference that matches the Sage comics because I do provide them inside of my server, but I want to show you guys how to do it manually because it means that if there's any other sort of stories that you want to, replicate or continue or do anything like that, you're welcome to. I just want to warn you guys now when it comes to especially individual artists and stuff like that. You want to be careful with how you're doing this because it is something that I am keenly aware that some artists would not be happy with people doing this. So I provide my comics so that you don't upset your favorite artists by doing this. Okay. So I give you guys full permission to go nuts with this, but and I'm not going to name names, but it all just comes down to the fact that there are plenty of artists that want you to be able to make fan art, but maybe not in the way that we're doing it. So just be aware of that. Let's go over to Photoshop here. Go to tablet, minimize this. Now we have Photoshop open here. I'm going to hit File New because I have it already copied. It should just give me something about the same frame. Okay. And what I'm going to do, the only thing that I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to remove the text because there is a little bit of funkiness that happens when you include arbitrary text inside of style referencing. It does work, but it doesn't work as well as what you would like. So let's go ahead and add a new layer. And we could just delete it too, but we'll add a new layer and switch it to white. And then we're going to paste over the text. Okay. Same with this one here. Come into here and then paste over the text. And same with this one here. Boom. Okay. Now we're going to collapse that all down into one, and there you go. This is now something that we can drag a marquee over, copy the entire image. We can also just save it as a PNG or whatever, but I just like copying things. It's easier. So now we can hop ourselves back over to the to any Discord really, and we're going to paste that image into Discord. That will get us a link if we open up that image. Okay, so now I'm going to copy that image and I am going to say hyphen hyphen sref, that's style reference, and then I'll post that link into there. With just one image in the style reference, there is a good chance that you may not get the exact results that you're looking for. You probably want to include a couple of pages from me, especially pages from the same comic because they're made with the same like workflow. That each time. The older in comics that you go for me, the less and less the characters look like they do because I'm actively developing as I'm making these comics. So just keep that in mind. But now what I can do is I can come into here. I'm going to say Niji 6 already, just so we get a more drawn or anime data set. And then on the top here, I'm going to hit multiple comic panels. Okay. And because we're trying to make a comic, let's do a taller aspect ratio as well. Hyphen hyphen AR and then 2 3. And then we're going to hit submit on that. I normally run with style raw turned on as well. So let's do that again and then do style hyphen hyphen style space raw. And what that's going to do is it's going to more likely give us a result that like is less like has less like randomized textures and things like that. It'll be a little cleaner for working as like an asset in your project as opposed to your um yeah, just it just gives us a little bit cleaner results when it comes to that. So let's see what the difference is between here and so this is the style raw and this is the not style raw. So I'll zoom in here and there you go. The characters will be randomized by just using it as a style reference, but you usually get some incredibly high resolution results that kind of look that at least has the same palette, the same color palette, and it will generally speaking be looking like a comic, right? And if we now zoom into the not style raw version of it, you can see that especially like this top right result where there's all sorts of kind of like foliage and fluttery sort of aesthetic to it. That's what not having style raw will do. But this bottom right one is straight up mourning a funeral. Like it's very depressing, but I really like it. I like my good depressing stories. So this here is just gorgeous. Like, I really do like this result quite a lot. I think that there's a lot of potential for this image here. And if we wanted to, we can bring this into the new editor and be able to tell a story about this girl mourning. So let's do Midjourney here. I'm going to now open up this image. I'm going to go to the editor and let's go ahead and drag this out to here. And now let's say a graveyard, multiple comic panels depicting a graveyard. and then submit this. Okay. You're welcome to actually take parts of this image and use it as a character reference as well. So you can keep this character consistent if you want. Let's see what the results of these are really quick while it's generating here. Look at that. We didn't even have to use a character reference. It's able to keep consistency of the character just by moving it around and rescaling the composition. But because we're using a style reference with the Sage comics, that means that we always get a clean border. We always get a nice result out of this. And we can keep going with our story. So let's go ahead and go to editor. And then we can drag this down and we can say, placing flowers on the grave. Multiple comic panels depicting her placing the flowers on the grave. And then we'll hit submit. This is the power of the new editor, guys, is that by using a single style reference from the Sage comics, we're essentially able to create an entire, like, completed story just by moving the results around. But you'll notice that we don't always get what we want. We don't always get the image of her placing those flowers down, right? So let's try to force it to do that. Um, and there's a couple ways we can do this, but for now, I am going to let's say multiple comment. Let's say I'm gonna go ahead and add editor, and then let's try a couple different codes here. So I'm gonna do let's say no her, just so we can see if we can remove her from the frame. So it's a bit, let's actually ask for a close up here. So let's do, instead of no, let's do multiple comic heads depicting a close up of hands placing the flowers on the grave. And we can now, with that, say hyphen hyphen no and then person. This will create a negative prompt for the word person there. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so it's a little more obvious to you guys. Okay, there you go. Um, oops, I accidentally kicked myself out of the editor there. Depicting your, so hold on. So sorry. I got to get us back to where we were. I'm scaring things up. My bad. My bad. Where am I? Where did I go? Um, it was one of these results here. It was her, this one here, editor. There we go. Okay. Uh, depicting a close up of hands placing the flowers on the grave, hyphen hyphen no person. And then hit submit. Let's see if we can try to evoke that exact kind of image that would more likely be some. There we go. It's already doing it. Ah, I love knowing what the heck you're doing when it comes to this stuff. Okay. So any of these results here, we could start to build up a library of panels to be able to reorder them in Photoshop or anything like that. And basically, there you go. So let's do something like this. And then we can hit editor again here and we can select here. And we could even take part of this image from earlier and use that as a reference, but let's do white flowers. So we get rid of person and then say white flowers. And because it's already inside of this image here, it's a good chance that it's actually going to refer to what's already in the canvas. Okay. So we're just going to hit submit. I abuse the living crap out of this feature because it means that I'm oftentimes not having to worry too much about consistency because I have already have consistency within the frame. So it might be random, in which case we'll start to do a reference like an image blend or a prompt for that. But I think the second and the fourth ones are pretty good. So we get like something close. Like yes, this one's great. Let's go for this, and we can just kind of keep telling our story here. It's panel by panel by panel. It's amazing what you can do with the new editor. Um, beforehand inside of Discord, we would have to do a pan and then start to describe like multiple comic panels like we were before, but you'll notice that if I do it as a pan, there's a good chance that we don't actually get a consistent paneling. It's a little more finicky than using the new editor. So I hope you guys enjoy that. It is a lot of fun um, to kind of dig into that stuff. but I use, at least when it comes to the Sage comics here, I've been doing something that is a little non-traditional. In the sense that everything we're doing is non-traditional, frankly, but it's non-traditional in the sense that like Midjourney actually doesn't have a proper like workflow for working with multiple characters. Okay, you can use multiple characters inside of your character reference, but the main negative of that is that they will always blend together. Okay, and for me, the way I got around that was that I set my characters to have similar outfits. And if you have, like, for example, if you have like a Team Rocket sort of scenario where everyone's kind of wearing the same silly doodaddy outfit, it works a lot better. But if you have drastically different characters, especially if they have different styles, like one of them is realism and one of them is a cartoon character, you're going to have a lot of trouble doing what I'm about to do. But let's try to build or let's try out one of my multi-character references here. Okay. So inside of my server, I have a new challenge for you guys. So if we come into here, and this is for you guys, this is a couple weeks old, but if we go to challenges up here, one of my challenges is multi-character references. And this is the Sage comic multi-character reference is the very first one here. I want to see what other characters you guys are able to combine and find to be consistent because it takes a lot of testing to determine whether or not an image works for this. I am only using one image here. Okay. This image here is a poster for the Sage comics that I will be releasing. It's the 1994 poster. Um, and the way that we just take this single image here and we're going to hop ourselves back over to Midjourney and let's go ahead and build a character. Let's just build a little comic with this. Oh, look at this. Yes. Vicky is one of my characters from the series too. I love seeing you guys mess with the random characters from the Sage comics. But I'm gonna do hyphen hyphen cref, and then I'm gonna paste this multi-character reference in there. It's just a single link. Multiple links, like if you include a single image of Michael, for example, next to this image, it'll kind of give Michael a little more beef or a little more reference inside of the image here. But we're going to go ahead and hit Niji6 and style raw because that's how I make all the Sage comics. And what I'm going to do is I am going to say a multiple comic panels depicting a 1990s office space with two coworkers chatting. And then I usually give some sort of emotional direction for the characters here. So I'll say, and this is not perfect, guys. You're gonna see a lot of murkiness here. But we're gonna go, she is upset. I do have with the next Sage comic, it will be for the premiere of Friends, because Friends premiered on September 1st, 1994. All my comics are set 25 years in the pasts to the day. So when I release the comic, it is the 25th anniversary of that specific day. And I do that because it trips people out. They're looking on Reddit and they're like, "What the heck? Like, why am I reading a story that is, like it doesn't look like it's made in the 90s. It's very clean, it's very digital art, sure, but it's supposed to evoke a weirdness of like of nostalgia of feeling like you're being teleported back in time, especially if you just happened upon that sorry, yes, you're right, Legal Beagle. It's 30 years. I goofed. It is certainly 30. I Today is not the day to judge me on little things. I'm sorry. I did get lawyered. Yes, I did. Thank you. But just to kind of put it all here, multiple comic panels depicting a 1990s office space with two coworkers chatting. She is upset. And we're just gonna hit let's do AR23 just to evoke a taller paneling here, and then we'll submit that. Um, if you want it to look a little cleaner, because multiple comic panels will always try its best to do what you ask for. It'll try to create a sort of interaction between a scene. So, like, look at this. Uh, I love these results already. We already got a some interesting color palettes. We already got some interesting interactions. She is certainly upset in a bunch of the panels, like that kind of thing. But also Michael is, because again, it's going to start sharing aspects to it. But look how good of a job it does at keeping Sage wearing the clean shirt and Michael wearing his jacket. And the only thing that's in the jacket, the only reference is this tiny little part of the image. Is that's all. That's all that it has to go. Okay, it's a brown jacket, and it's able to build the rest of this out in such a really fun way. So now let's give them a scenario, right? And this is also something common, by the way, guys. Midjourney doesn't actually really know what a CRT monitor is. Like we have to basically say this is a vintage computer. Okay. So let's just say her multiple comic panels depicting a 1990s office space, and they are, or sorry, two people using a, you know, a vintage computer. You have to speak within modern terms for Midjourney to really understand what you are kind of going for here. So it will evoke vintage devices or whatever if you ask for it, but it's still going to lean the results very heavily to modern components. You can notice that all the monitors here are still flat screens. There is it does okay. You can definitely in paint your way around this, but it is a common issue and something people will yell at you for if you try to make a Sage comic. They will essentially go, "Hey, that's a modern monitor." And I want you to notice what I Troll for You did here, okay? Because every one of my prompts has evoked two people inside of the prompt, okay? Two people, two people, two people. I Troll for You didn't, and look what it did. It merged the two characters. They now Sage has this little brown floop at the front of her face. And she's also taller and a little more masculine, right? So just a little bit though, just because of the percentage of how little Michael's in that image versus Sage. If we now re-roll this and say two people with smoothies, right? That's okay. Yes, you're already doing it for me, I Troll for You. Thank you for that. Um, if you say two people, look what happens. You have the two people in there. And it's just amazing. It's just amazing being able to do this. And he's not using a style reference at all with the Sage comics. But Gum Pasta did. And let's see, are they a multi-panel comic depicting journey back to 30 years ago? So what we want to do for this one is a multi-comic panel journey depicting two people back to 30 years ago. So let's like traveling back in time 30 years ago instead. Okay. And we're probably going to see like weird time travel antics, right? Like, like a portal or something like that. We'll see what it does. We'll see what it does. I'm going to take a sip here for a second.
I'm looking at the Victor semi-realistic 3D animation picture, and that's really cool. Johnny Bones.
Where is
My
that at?
thing stopped scroll. It stopped scrolling a
Scrolling a
while
while
back,
back.
but let me tag
Okay.
you for it.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mhm. Yeah, this was
Yes,
at
that 5:13.
5:38, so I think. Reply movie machine.
For the multi-panel comic here. Um, let's see. So the time traveling one definitely didn't give us the portal I was expecting, but it definitely evoked two people traveling in general. It's not the word traveling is way too powerful when it comes to like just trying to come A to point B or whatever. There you go. Thank you so much. Oh, hey. Yeah, that is very interesting. I really like the fourth one actually.
Oh,
That's
you're not
not
movie
movie
machine
machine
anymore.
anymore.
That's
That's
why I haven't been able to tag you.
yeah, sorry. It's just Victor.
Yeah, I get it now.
All good. Oh, this is fun. All right, so you definitely have some stuff going on with Michael and Sage here. Michael's a bit funky here on the bottom, so let's go ahead and do a quick barrier region here. And let's highlight select the bottom of the canvas here, something like this. We want to make sure we select a little extra, just enough to make sure that we really don't get any part of Michael or whatever this is on the bottom left corner. And I'm gonna replace the prompt entirely with uh a looming shadow casts over her, and then I'm gonna remove the character reference entirely from this. And what that should do is it should more evoke that there's like something really big happening in front of her, right? And we can see what that does. Yeah, personal code or personal style leans very beardy and male characters. That's good. Um, so we could see. Ooh, yes, I like this. This is from Gon Pasta. Two people portaling using portal as a verb. That's fun. Back in time 30 years ago at a green magical portal. And see, you could see they're double downing in the prompt. They're basically reinforcing that they want a portal to be image because reference because they wrote it twice in the prompt. So that's pretty useful. But then we say like looming over shadow, looming overhead. We start to like get the scene. It's not like too literal of what we want, but it is neat that we start to see a tree here now because it's kind of evoking the angle correctly. So that's neat. Uh, yeah, desperately waiting for personal codes to Niji. Yeah. Uh, but there you go. I really yeah. This is the one I like the most from that. It reminds me of like stop motion, like a stop motion, like the there's a couple different studios that I can think. Leica, like this reminds me of a Leica character.
You should
Uh,
keep that
Yeah,
one. I think
maybe.
it's really good.
it is really good.
It's not your common sweater, but
Whatever.
like it looks good on you.
I do like it. It's my kind of sweater. Like it's the one I would wear like in real life too. Like I'm such a sucker for winter. Like winter is my favorite. Like fall is great. Fall is amazing. But you give me a blizzard and it's my favorite natural disaster. uh like I am in my happy place when the entire town shuts down. Um because of a blizzard for sure. So you give me a nice cozy sweater, you give me a coffee, like yes, I'm a happy boy when it comes to winter. Um let's see here. So there's a lot of fun stuff you guys can do with the multi-character referencing. You can see that people are starting to bring in other characters from my series by using them as individual character references instead of the multi-character reference we had earlier. But if you want to go for more of a cinematic approach as opposed to a comic book storytelling approach where you're going to see a bunch of panels and things like that, I mean, you could, and like, by the way, giving a location, super neat. Super neat to see like a characters at the Grand Canyon or at the, whatever. Like, you could just do so much stuff when it comes to this stuff. But let's try to do something even more refined. So instead of saying multiple comic panels, let's do an animated movie, an animated film depicting a 1990s office. I'm going to get rid of she is upset so that makes it a little more diverse with the results we're going to get. So two coworkers chatting at the water cooler just to see what it do, and we're going to hit submit on that. If we take away style raw at this point, there's a good chance we start to see film grain and like all sorts of little things that are annoying to me because I can just add them myself in Photoshop. But if you're just working off a Midjourney, you don't have any image editing tools or anything like that, it's a really neat way to just create style, to create an aesthetic on it. So the animated film prompt does heavily rely on the aspect ratio. So I screwed that up with this result, but it's very easy to fix. We're going to go to aspect ratio now, and let's do a very cinematic aspect ratio. So 21:9. 69 works of course, but 21:9, that's how you make like hyper fantastic film, um ultra wide kind of like movie experience stuff that you can then bring into like AI video services like Pika Labs or whatever, Kling and all sorts of other ones that have been popping up lately, and then use that cinematic shot as your reference image for a video. There's so much potential for doing that. So like you could see here that we don't see any water coolers at all. We do see a little bit of one here on the top here, but I want to now bring in the style reference from the Sage comics themselves. So I'll scroll back up here. Uh, there is the style reference here. I'll just grab this and borrow it. And we are going to re-roll this and then add a style reference hyphen hyphen sref and paste that in there. It's a lot easier on the web to be able to say like, okay, here's your style reference. Let's what is it? Let's give it a let's just say that now it's a character reference. It's very easy just to click a button and that's just the way it is. But look at this. It doesn't matter that it has comic panels inside of the style reference. We suddenly have a movie. We suddenly have a film that it matches the Sage and Michael comics almost to the T because we are not depicting multiple comic panels. We're not asking for that. We're asking for an animated film, but we're referencing the style of the Sage comics. Okay. So if we are like this, I love this composition. I love the angle. I love the kind of position that Michael is in for this, but we're not 100% happy with either the expressions or the exact final image here. Let's do a variation subtle on here and just submit it as is. We're basically not going to change any. I like this. That's so goofy. You would definitely want to bring in a refined version of Sage because Sage doesn't really have this like evenly long hair. She has what I call banana bangs in her hair. So the banana bangs is what kind of evokes towards the front of her hair. So I would say the first one's probably the most on point out of these. And the banana bangs is just two strips with a little kind of V shape at the end of it, so they break. I wanted to show somebody who doesn't really take care of their hair, that just kind of lets it grow, like how mine is in real life. Um, and and is generally just a workaholic. Like I wanted somebody who just doesn't really care too much about the appearance side of things and just gets things done. That being said, she's still very much like, I mean, she does some makeup, she does some foundation, that kind of thing, but overall, I mostly wanted to evoke someone who is more like has like undiagnosed ADD and other like little sort of personality traits. The hair is stringy. It's very much just kind of like pulled out of the way. It's never like she doesn't even have a hair tie. She just doesn't have the time to remember to grab one. Things like that. But if we now evoke Vicky by comparison, Vicky is kind of like a hot shot. She very much cares about her appearance far more. And what I'm gonna do is show you guys slash prefer to do that. So if you have a bunch of image links that represent your character, you can actually save your character inside of Midjourney. It's a very cool way to do this. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit slash prefer and you're going to see option set here. Click on slash prefer option set and then you're going to name your character. And you'll see that I have many characters saved here. Um, we can basically say anybody, but let's grab some links first to make sure that we actually save something useful here. Let's do the multi-character reference really quick. So we have that. I think this one is that's the portal. Okay, let's jump up here. Here's the character reference. Boom. We have this character reference here. Let's just copy that link. And now under the option prefer set, I'm going to call Sage Michael just just to give us a unique one to input today. And then we're going to hit plus more and then paste or sorry, click on value and then paste our links into this value function here. Okay. You can use as many links as you want. Just go nuts with this. As soon as you have your list of links, you can just paste that all into the value here and then hit enter. And now what's going to happen is every time that I write, hold on, get out of here. All right. Every time that I come into here and write hyphen hyphen sage underscore Michael or whatever you named your slash prefer, it will replace it with every link that's inside of that prefer. So really neat way to do that and get it all saved. So I highly recommend that if you do have some characters, you can very quickly save them, use them, that kind of thing. And look at this. Someone made a 3D Pixar film. Gom Pasta again, knocking it out of the park. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, I'm gonna read some chat here. Getter said, "Good night, folks. Tired here. See you tomorrow. Thanks for your time, Victor." Yeah, no problem, man. I know you're a little tipsy coming in here today, so you better get some sleep. Drink your water. Drink some water. Let's see. Really smart said, "Messy hair, don't care." Messy hair, don't care. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I agree. I Trophy said, let's see, desperately waiting for Niji P is some gum pasta, and then they responded with, "Yes, exactly. Been rating a lot of Nijis these days." Okay, good, good. I Troll for You is one of my mods over on the Gnarly Studios uh server. So let's see here. I was pulling away for a moment and I'm back now. It's good to see you again, really smart, of course. And it's good to see you on good to see you, Legal Beagle. And just in general, guys, I really do appreciate seeing all the regulars. You guys are awesome. What we do is when this stream is done, I go and hop back onto my server and we do a group voice chat where you're welcome to come in and talk to us directly, ask any questions or show off your projects or do whatever really. If you do anything stupid, I'll kick you out. But it is certainly something that this one guy, the potato pomancer, I forgot his name exactly. He just talked about potatoes the whole time. He wanted to do a juggling sweet potato man, and we did that for him during the after party, and he was talking us through it and going through all this, and then about 15 minutes in of working, he's like, "By the way, I can't actually look at my screen right now because I'm talking to you on my phone, like on my voice call from my car, and I'm driving down the highway right now." And I was like, "Okay, that's not safe. But I'm glad you're not looking at your phone while doing this." But I was able to assist a guy driving down who knows how fast down the highway while he had some project stuff. So I was like, "Okay, when you're safe at home, okay, then you could look at the screen and stuff." And he didn't obviously put himself in danger at all, but it was certainly funny for me to go, "Oh wait, so that's why he sounds a bit muffled, is because he's driving down the highway right now." That was funny to me. Um, but you could see here that anime film depicting a 1990s office space, two people throwing papers into the air. This is because I combined these two results here by accident. So let's go ahead and re-roll this. And then I am going to get rid of this second link here, which is going to lean heavily towards Sage because there's now two images of Sage and then one little bit of Michael that's there in the corner. This is really cool, by the way. I really like these results. Um, it is true though that you'll lose more and more of Sage and Michael the more you stylize towards a specific production or medium or anything like that. But now look at this. Now we have Sage and Michael back again for the most part without issue. There's a little bit of Sage's hair behind Michael on one of these results, but that's fine. You just in paint that out. No big deal. But it is really cool that even in version 6.1, we get these clean results. But if we now switch this to Niji 6, oops, too many J's, and then hit submit, we should get a little bit more in line with the Sage comics simply because all the Sage comics are already made in Niji. So it'll more likely give us a more accurate output. It also kind of cutifies Michael a lot because Sage is, an adorable chibi-like character sometimes. Um, so Michael oftentimes has to be in painted again to kind of bring back some of that more muscular, bigger man that he is. So yeah, that's about it from what I got for you guys. The normally I go until about 7, but my I'll see what else I can do here for a minute. I'm definitely leaning towards kind of ending the stream a little earlier today, guys, because today was just kind of a wreck for me. I've been definitely when it comes to the GoFundMe and everything else, I've been completely invested in that all week, and I am excited to be able to relax this weekend a bit. So I might call it a little early today, and then hop us back over to Gnarly Studios so that you guys can ask me any questions in a bit. It is something that in terms of everything else, though, I wanted to thank everyone for coming here today. There's a lot of you that I recognize, but a whole lot of new faces too. I really do appreciate you guys. Next week, I will be focusing on a draw in gen. So this is something that I've done, on my Twitch streams and stuff. I've done this before, but I think this will be the first time that we run a magma canvas together here on the Midjourney streams. So if you have a drawing tablet, uh use it. Like, expect it. I want to see how many people actually use it. I will be using it, but this will be the first time that you guys can hop in on my drawings and draw with me. So it'll be a lot of neat stuff for that. Because the draw engine, essentially the way that it works is that we get an open canvas that everyone can hop in on, and we can just start to doodle inside of that canvas. And overall, you'll be able to then, once you finish a sketch, once you finish a drawing, we will use that drawing to be the image reference for guiding our characters, for dictating a lot of the final result. With the last draw in gen I did was actually with Fran. It was a lot of fun. But the basically what she did was she just brought a lot of little fun little doodles that we then expanded out and turned into just interesting scenes. The Rhapsody actually drew like this neat little like demon guy, like this big the cuddle monster. And if you go to my Instagram, you can actually find that there as well. And Kiki's got a whole bunch of links for you guys that you're more than welcome to check out. And basically, if you just search Victor Gnarly on Instagram, you'll find hold on, I'll just go to my profile here. Boop. You'll find not only a bunch of the Sage comics there, but you'll also find some of the videos that we have made on my Twitch stream on there as well. And this is the last drawn gen we did. You guys will not hear the audio. But in fact, yeah, I'll just play this close up a little bit. So the neat thing about the drawn gen is that you basically doodle all together on a single canvas, and then whatever those results are kind of pop up on inside of Midjourney here. So we just kind of copy them and bring them in like this, or we brought in the Dutch shoe, and essentially we were able to prompt that with the word yes inside of it. And when uh this is actually kind of amazing. I know it's really small for you guys, but like what's amazing about this result was when we put it into the prompt here, the word yes turned into the word nope. And it doesn't look like a shoe anymore. And it made me laugh so damn hard. I really that this was an amazing moment to catch on stream. So I hope to capture a couple more moments like that, and we'll see what we do when it comes to it. Rhapsody was there. There's a bunch of folks there, and maybe we could even do some like neat little like PNG tuber stuff too. So it'll be a very different stream than we normally do, and I hope you have a tablet, because if you do, then you can come in and draw with us. I believe it allows for your phone too, but it works so much better if you have a drawing tablet. Okay. So we'll have some fun doing that. I'll let people know about it ahead of time to see if they want to hop in and start doodling with us. So that's it. Um, that's it for me. My voice is like very, very hoarse. So when I get into my server, I might only be able to talk for about 10, 15 minutes, guys, and then I'm going to basically not talk the whole weekend. Like I've been talking with artists around the world for the whole week. It's neat to know so many cool people now, and it's all thanks to you guys helping me out and making my comics popular, outside of like the work that I put into them. So thank you guys so much for that. And I hope to see you guys on my server. Just click the join button inside of VC Create. You'll see it here. Sorry, inside of VC Text, you'll see it here. And yeah, yeah, it is just follow me wherever you like to follow, whatever social media crap you like. I'll be there, I guess. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Next week definitely gonna be a roller coaster. So okay, you have a good night, guys.